The idea of Gestalt therapy is to change paper people into real people. I know, it's a big mouthful. And to make the hollow man of our time come to life and teach him to use his inborn potential and being, let's say, a leader without a rebel, having a center instead of living lopsided. All these ideas sound very demanding, but I believe it's now possible that we can do it, that we don't have to lie on the couch for years, decades, and centuries without essential changes. The main idea about Gestalt is that a Gestalt is a whole, a complete, in itself, resting whole. As soon as we cut up a Gestalt, we have bits and pieces and not a whole anymore. A Gestalt wants to be completed. If the Gestalt is not completed, we are left with unfinished situations. And these unfinished situations press and press and press and want to be completed. Let's say, if you had a fight, you really are angry with that guy, want to take revenge. This need for revenge will nag and nag and nag until you have become even with him. And so there are 1,000 unfinished Gestalten. How to get hold of this Gestalt is very simple. These Gestalten will emerge. They will come to the surface. Always the most important Gestalt will emerge first. We don't have to dig a la Freud into the deepest unconscious. We have to become aware of the obvious. If we understand the obvious, everything is there. And the neurotic is a person who doesn't see the obvious. So what we're trying to do in Gestalt therapy is to understand the word now, the present, the awareness, and see what happens in the now. And to understand the now will take you anything from 4 weeks to 20 years. The second point I have to make in regard to our therapy is the word how. In previous centuries, we asked why. We tried to find causes, reasons, excuses, rationalizations, and we thought if we can change the causes, we can change the effect. In our electronic age, we don't ask why anymore, we ask how. We investigate the structure. And if we understand the structure, then we can change the structure. And the structure with which we are most interested in is the structure of our life script. The structure of our life script, often called karma, fate, and we are not very much aware that we are writing our life script. A life script which is mostly taken up with self-torture, futile self-improvement games, achievements, and so on. So what we want to do is to reorganize our life script. And the means and ways to do it can be understood to quite an extent. In order to work, I like and I brag about the 6 components of my work. To work, I need my skill, the so-called hot seat, which in this case is very beautiful, the empty chair, which has the task of taking up roles which we have disowned, other people, which we need to understand our life script. We need something that is absent. I hope maybe today we don't need it. That is Kleenex, my cigarettes, the ashtray, and then I'm in business. So I invite anyone who wants to come forth and work with me to take the hot seat. So let's do this now. Close your eyes and tell us in detail what do you experience now.
Well, physically I feel the warmth of one hand and another. I feel, now I feel tension throughout my body,
Can you
especially up here.
Fine. Can you enter this tension?
It's as if I'm being stretched this way, across my shoulder.
Can you do this to me?
Oh.
Stretch me.
It's as if I'm being pulled out this way.
More. Do it as much as you need to do. Okay, sit down.
Something like that. Now it's gone away.
If you learn to do unto others what you're doing unto yourself, you stop repressing yourself and preventing yourself from what you've got to do. I don't understand yet his need to stretch me. To talk about it would be, and here I have to shock you, because I have to introduce one of the technical terms in Gestalt therapy, which is mind-fucking. The very moment we just play these intellectual games, like they do usually in group therapy, they throw opinion on each other, explanations, people interpret each other. So nothing happens except these intellectual word games. So what do you experience now, Tom?
My own mind fucking. Explaining to myself why I would want to stretch you.
Okay, let's introduce the empty chair. Ask Don this question.
Dawn, why do you want to stretch yourself or another person?
Now, change seats. And this is the decisive phrase, start to write your script now between the two opponents.
Well, Dawn, you're not good enough the way you are. so you've got to stretch. Yeah, that's quite possible. One never knows what one's potentials are unless one does stretch. I agree. I should stretch. Yes. You seem to have got the message. And all you have to do now is do something about it. Yeah, I do try to do something about it sometimes. I'm constantly aware that I am supposed to do something about it. I don't always do something about it. Once in a while.
Yeah. We make now the first acquaintance with one of the most frequent splits in the human personality. That is the top-dog underdog split. The top-dog, known in psychoanalysis as the superego, or the conscience. Unfortunately, Freud left out the underdog. And he did not realize that usually the underdog wins in the conflict between top-dog and underdog. I give you the frequent characteristics of both. The top-dog is righteous, sometimes right, but always righteous. He takes it for granted that this top-dog that tells him he should stretch and improve, that the top-dog is correct. The top-dog always says you should. And the top-dog threatens, if not then. However, the top-dog is pretty straightforward. Now, the underdog works with a different method. The underdog says, yeah, or I promise, or I agree with you, or manana. If I only could. So the underdog is a very good frustrator. And then the top dog, of course, don't let it get away with it. It increases the use of the rod. And so the self-torture game or self-improvement game, whatever you want to call it, goes on year in, year out, and year in, year out, and nothing ever happens. Correct?
Not quite, but... the top dog keeps pushing.
Yeah.
And he gets...
Say this to the top dog.
Yeah, you keep pushing, and sometimes I give you something. I often feel it isn't adequate enough for your... doesn't quite meet your demands.
Okay. So be the top dog in demand. What in your demands?
You should get much more organized, and you could be far more intelligent about how you go about things than you are right now.
Okay, and, now, again, do unto others what you're doing unto yourself. Say the same sentence to these people here. You should get better organized.
Yeah, Bill, if you want to improve, you should get much better organized and make much more use of your time and energy. And you should get much more organized and be more intelligent about how you go about things. And you go a lot further. Gail, you can do the same.
How do you feel in that role when you say this to others and not to yourself?
I feel that they can tell me to go to hell.
Okay, tell them to go to hell. You keep on nagging and then each one tells you to go to hell.
Go to hell.
Haven't I told you often enough that you should work harder?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you have.
And can't you work harder? Can't you organize yourself better?
I don't want to, thank you, on that.
How about you, Bill? I mean, you could go much further if you organized yourself better. You could be a wealthy man now. It's a fantastically successful business if you organized yourself and worked harder with your talents.
Okay, how do you feel now?
I feel like a very self-righteous.
How's your stage fright?
Oh, it's sort of gone away.
Yeah. But this being self-righteous is part of your life script. And so you need a lot of people you can be self-righteous with. Which you have to deal with, whether this part is part of yourself or part of somebody you carry with you, somebody with whom you haven't got a situation finished. Right now, we are in a studio and we just talked about the stage fright. As Gestalt therapy is exclusively interested in the now. And our aim is to learn to cope with whatever happens. And right now what happens is a certain amount of stage fright. So let's sample a bit. Will you take the hot seat? And tell me how you experience your stage fright.
My hands are very cold and wet.
Yeah.
Very wet. And I have this little paper.
Can you imagine doing this to me?
Tearing you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now come, tear me apart.
I'm scared to death. I'm scared of you, I
Now
guess.
put me in that chair.
Can I talk to you?
Yes.
I guess I'm afraid because I think I'll do something to myself because I know you aren't going to do anything to me. But I really am afraid of you.
Okay, now switch over to the camera. Say this to the camera.
I really am afraid of you.
Now, change, play the camera. Sit down here and play the camera. What would the camera answer? If you had some words, some feeling as camera, what would you say? Talk to that girl that was so frightened.
I see you sitting there. I see you nervous. I see you unsure. I see you as okay.
Now be yourself again. What would you say? Go on with the dialogue.
I feel better. I'm not so concerned right now. I feel more at ease.
Yeah. You see, this always happens. If you assimilate some of the projection and you realize what you're dealing actually only with a fantasy, something you invest. And if you take back what you have given up, whatever energy or experience you have disowned, given to the world, and it becomes your own, then you grow. You integrate this foreign material. All right, will you try this? Change the hot seats.
My hands are very cold and wet. And I'm going inside very fast right there. But otherwise I feel supernaturally calm.
Supernaturally calm.
Yeah.
So it might be that your calmness is phony.
Yeah.
All right, now close your eyes. Withdraw into your body. What do you feel physically?
hammer, 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 right there.
Can you exaggerate this hammer, hammer, hammer? Make noises with it. Louder.
That
Do this
sure
with-
feels better.
That's right. We do.
He's still playing with the paper.
Talk to the paper.
Paper, I'm still winding you up. Won't let you go. And my hands are sweaty and they're shaking a little bit. And I'm getting hot.
Do you hear your voice?
Yeah, I'm getting scared
Of what?
of all those people out there watching me.
Tell this. Still there.
I'm scared of all you people out there watching me.
Now change position. You're one of the people watching you. Say, I'm seeing you.
I'm seeing you and you should be scared. Especially if, like, my parents are watching or something like that, and I say something and it may hurt you.
Okay, change seats again. Talk back.
I've got a lot of hostility against the whole crowd and my parents.
Express your hostility. Express it on this piece of paper.
Well, I like to wind them all up. I mean,
Tell this to us.
I like to wind you all up.
Now, in this course, I noticed that you have disowned your eyes. Instead of having eyes, the eyes are in the outside world, and they're looking at you.
Yeah, right.
Now, could you try to discover your own eyes and tell us what you see? Use your eyes now. What do you see?
And I see that I'm scared.
That's not what you see. This is what you imagine.
Well, all I see then are cameras
Yeah.
and shapes and darkness.
Uh-huh. Do you see
Just people sitting there.
Ah, you're waking up? Yeah. This is what I call the mini Satori. It's in contrast to the great Satori, the great waking up. This is a little waking up. Suddenly one wakes out of a trance like you're being persecuted by the eyes of the world.
Yeah.
All right.